Hi YouTube friends, this is Brad of Silver Lining Daydreams. Today in this video we're going to show you how far along our bathroom remodel has been progressing. You're going to see how we saved hundreds of dollars by painting our bathroom vanity or cabinet, cut out and install a butcher block countertop over our bathroom vanity, make our 60-year-old bathroom window look like almost new again. Because we have learned over the years to allow long dry times between paint applications, we were able to work on other parts of our bathroom remodel. We randomly put them in this video for you to see our bathroom remodel progression. Here I'm prepping the counter for removal. This video may appear somewhat random, but as you view our video, you will see that there is a rhyme and reason to the madness. I think they just put the countertop on top of silicone that was above the cabinet or some sort of adhesive, so I think I'm going to have to just break it off. But I don't know, let's see if we can just pull it off. It's a beast, it's heavy, it's Corian I think. I think it just kind of floated on here, so yeah, we can just take this right out. In addition to painting our bathroom vanity, we will be installing a butcher block countertop that we prepped for the install of our vessel sink. Got it? So we may build this up a little bit, we're not sure depending on what we do for the sink. After an 11% rebate, the cost for the Birch butcher block counter was $195.79, and the clearance price for the above counter sink was reduced from $175 to $75. Our original plan was to install a granite countertop that would be the same as what we put in our kitchen, and also have an undermount sink, was about $1,400. So to save money, we decided to go this route instead. Earlier in the day, my jigsaw broke, so I ended up doing the sink cutout with my circular saw, my drill, and my Dremel. Because I had already earlier in the day made a trip to the store, I was determined to get the job done with what I had. In the long run, it did take 3 times as much time to get it done. 220 sandpaper. I have an orbital sander, but this is pretty well sanded. Just got a little bit dirty when I did the cutout for the sink. So I'm just going to lightly sand it before staining it. I'm going to put a link at the end of this video to an earlier video where I used the Dremel in our kitchen remodel video. The Dremel is one of the most underused tools out there. Alright, baby bottom smooth. For the stain we paid $7.96 and it has a 2-hour dry time. We waited a full day before applying the varnish. The butcher block must be sealed or finished on all surfaces within 48 hours of removing the shrink wrap. If you were using this countertop in your kitchen and you planned on prepping food on it, you would use something else to seal it, mineral oil or some other conditioner. If we were installing this in our kitchen, we would still use a cutting board just to protect our countertop. For the oil-based varnish, we paid $10.48 for a quart. The manufacturer states it has a 6-hour dry time and they recommend a minimum of 3 coats. We put on 3 coats, and after the first coat we very lightly sanded with a 220 sandpaper. The oil-based poly versus the water-based poly gives a slight golden hue to your project. Some people are okay with that, others aren't. We felt that the oil-based poly would have a greater affinity over time for the wood versus the water-based poly. So here I'm just using a 100 grit sandpaper just to kind of lightly sand this up here before we put the primer on. In the kitchen we would clean them with TSP to get the grease off, but there's really no grease on here, so basically we just kind of wiped it down and we're going to lightly sand it. So it'll probably just take me a little bit, just a few minutes to do that, then I'll just clean it off and then it's all ready for the primer. I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see what it looks like. It just kind of dulled the finish.
This doesn't seem to be working, Brad.
Last night we used the liquid sandpaper made by Clean Strip on our bathroom cabinets, and I'm not sure if it just doesn't work very well or if our cabinets just didn't have a whole lot of gloss on them anymore because of all the cleaning that we've done over the years. So just to be on the safe side, what we decided to do was just use a 150 grit sandpaper to just lightly sand it, just to make sure that everything is off of it. Really nice thin coats of the primer.
After removing the shims on here, I scraped off all the adhesive. We're going to create some new shims and put those on before the countertop goes on. We let the first coat of primer dry overnight, If you watched our channel before and you've seen our painting kitchen cabinets white video, you know that we like to let paint dry overnight with each coat. Even though the dry time is an hour on this, we feel that it just hardens better. So you can see where I just filled this in with spackle. I'm going to just lightly sand it. Turn it around. It took 2 coats and I sanded it. It looks pretty good. It's not perfect. Now it's not going to hold up as good as like a special wood bonding product, but I think it'll hold up just fine. This is how our bathroom looked before the remodel. And this is how it looks now. And now you can just see how much more open and spacious it feels. If we were painting this cabinet white, we would definitely use 2 coats of primer, but because we're painting it a navy blue, we only need to use 1 coat of primer. This is the 4th video of our bathroom remodel series. If you haven't watched the first video in this bathroom series, I'll have a link at the end of this video. It's called Bathroom Remodel, Demo of a Tiled Shower and More. Down the road in a later video, I'll explain why I use 3 coats of a top coat on the front and also on the back of these drawer faces. Here I am painting the walls with primer. For the primer, we use Bullseye's 123 for all surfaces interior exterior primer. This is like 60 years old. You can see how easily this comes off. If needed, a person could pay someone about $45 to glaze these windows, or you could do it yourself for less. It would cost us about $700 to pay someone to install a new window. Some companies won't even come out just to install 1 window. You have to do multiple windows, or if it's just 1 window, they have a markup fee. It could be even more than $700. By spending 3 or 4 hours with the labor spread out, we're going to resurrect these windows for nearly no cost. This is a hack that anyone can easily do with little money or little experience. Try the pinky. Need a little bit more on there. When caulking, our tendency is to use too much caulk. Here, I actually underestimated how much caulk was needed. So in the 19 years I think that we've lived here, I've never once saw water in here. So normally I think there's probably some weep hole somewhere where the water, if it gets in here, would drain out. But again, I've never seen water, and there's lots of air coming through here. So we painted these with 2 coats of primer and 2 top coats and then some caulk down there. So this is a hack using a razor blade to cut the tape right where it meets the window so you don't peel back paint on the window itself. Working pretty good. Yeah, it's working real good here. I mean, nothing's going to look like a new window, but if we can salvage this and get by without spending the money, it's worth a try. Then just take the razor blade and just kind of clean up if there's a piece left. It just scrapes right off. Depending on how well these hold up will determine whether or not this was worth it. Here I'm installing the new window locking hardware, which cost only $2.26. So you can see right in here that it's not as white, that we can't paint. That's more of a plastic material. You'll see it there. But this is just sort of a temporary hack to get us by for a while before we have to replace the window. So yeah, this should work out really good. Thanks for watching, and in our next video we'll be wrapping up all of the bathroom remodel except for tiling the shower. That'll be in our last video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to our channel, Silver Lining Daydreams. And thanks again for watching.